Hello.
It's up the chin.
My camera wasn't good enough. Oh, this is for your YouTube stuff, right? Okay. He makes some good YouTube videos. So these laws, we learn later that a lot of us are the artists for the petroglyphs, and the stories that happen that created what's there. They're telling us about the future. They're telling us about the future. And one of the first ones that we seen was the people were meeting with the chanupa of sacred pipe. They're smoking sacred pipe, and this picture was over 7,000 years old. But the white buffalo calf woman told us that her first appearance here was over 15,000 years ago. There's pictures of horses, and they teach you that horses weren't over here. No, we got some horses with riders. There's so much. So we made three videos. Grandma Chandra is the first one, and she talked and interpreted many petroglyphs. The second one and third one was one petroglyph, and it took 2 hours to interpret. 2 hours. I have one more that I seen, and it just the knowing, the understanding popped in, and I said that's going to take another 2 hours. So I'm getting that ready. But we only brought 3 videos if you're interested in the basics of petroglyphs. So the energy, we need to go to the people of the land. They know. But there's disciplines to approach people of the land, you know. It's not like a tourist mine. What does this mean? What does that mean? You know, they want quick answers like you get them in school or something, but these here takes a while because there's blood that dropped on the ground because of these, and we got to honor that. A lot of our relatives died, were murdered, killed, put in institutions because of the knowledge that they carried. So we have to come into, whether you're down and have a supai, people with your brother Yukwala, he knows, but there's a discipline that goes with the knowing. And if you don't have that knowing, then you're going to become annoying. So take your pick. So we're going to present all these next 3 days in our workshops. We have my brother over here. He's one of the chiefs, and if you see his artwork over there, this is the artwork that's put in the books. The books that are over here. So sit and visit with him and his wife, and spend some time with each other, because we're all family. We're all family. We need to help each other. We need each other. And we also doing live streaming. So if you have a message for the people, we have a 10-minute session in between each speaker. If the Spirit moves you to give a message, then you come to my sister here, or give it to one of the speakers and they'll share it. Okay? Sometimes we get up here and you get butterflies and you start crying, you do all sorts of goofy things, you know, make attention to yourself. And so we need to help each other out in many ways. So I wanted to say just that much, and thank you for honoring this time of 11:11. Thank you for honoring this walk, and thank you for honoring this way of love. Mitaki Wase.
Okay. Drummers, can you hold just a minute? We've been requested that he might answer some questions you have, so please feel free, come from your heart, mind, and keep them balanced. Here, without further ado, you take the mic.
Don't ask a question that you already have the answer to.
They need to know they have the answer.
Yeah, they already have some. See, that's what we're taught for 8 years in our. I'll just share this with you. When my brother and I, there was 12 of us, we were taught by the Spirit, and one of the things they told us was, don't ask any questions, because, you know, as you walk, you're going to find the answer. You're going to find your answer. So have patience. So like 8 years, we didn't ask a question. And during them 8 years, we learned a lot from the Spirit. So when they opened the doors and said, okay, now you could ask some questions. And we're like, huh? Yeah. And sometimes they said, well, if you notice, a lot of people answer their own questions after they ask you. So this is a part of not taking the energy from people sometimes. If they come to you with a problem, usually I say, so what do you feel? They'll give me the answer. You already have the answer. See? You're carrying it yourself. But you just need some, you know, verification, confirmation to what you already know. Right?
Could you answer and explain to them the proper procedure for asking help from an elder, or could you?
Hello? Could you please direct people as to the appropriate and proper way, formal way actually, of asking a request of an elder or a chief?
There's many ways. Each altar has a way. I'm sure Mr. Yukwala, my brother, will answer, you know, what he was brought up with, along with us. So this altar, I was told through I'll give names because, you know, they need to be recognized. One of my brothers, Steve Red Buffalo, my friend, when I didn't expect it, but he told in ceremony at one time, right in the middle of ceremony, he said, if you ever want this man, my brother's help, you go to him and you bring a blanket and you give him a gift. You give him a tobacco, you know, for the kind of help that you want. What you give has to be equal to the help that you're asking, see? So just remember that. Help is given freely, but there's another, in a giveaway, the giving is just symbolic to giving your love, you know. So here's what happens. Okay, if I ask my brother here, I need some help. You can say, okay, bring me a deer hide or a buffalo hide or elk hide. Okay. So what do you got to do that? You got to go out. If this was a long time ago, you got to go out. Okay, I have to get an elk. How do I get an elk? You know? Okay, you got to shoot him, kill him, for one. You got to bring him down. Okay, how do you do that? Okay, you got to make a weapon, maybe an arrow. Okay, how do you make an arrow? What kind of wood? What kind of little tree? What kind of willow? Where do you get your point? They're sharp. How do you make them? You know? Where'd you get the types of feathers are all different too. What type of bird do you use to keep your arrow flying straight? Okay, now you got to make something to shoot that arrow with. What kind of wood is the strongest or the one that will, you know, shoot the arrow the farthest? And what do you use for a string? See? It's going to take a learning process. A learning process. Okay, it takes you this time to learn all this stuff. Okay, now where's the elk at? Ah, shucks, I gotta go way up there. They hang out over there at Sunrise Ranch. Where the heck is that at? Oh, we'll Google it. So, okay, now you have to get close to elk, right? You have to get past them horns. Don't mess around with them, especially if they're in rut. Okay, what happens? Maybe you've been lucky and you shoot it out. Now what do you do? Okay, what do you do next? What do you do? You have to find a way to open it up, right? And learn how to do that. And what do you use? A knife, right? Okay, you got a knife. What did they use for knives a long time ago? Rocks, you know. You'll find out. You'll learn. Takes a while, but you'll learn. How do you skin them? Yep. Okay, how do you take their insides out? Things like this. What do you use? Okay, you got it all. Okay, the meat. How do you bring the meat down to your encampment or your family? How do you preserve it? There's a lot of questions, you know. And how do you tan that hide that he wants for help? How do you tan it? Anybody know? Any hide tanners? Okay, she got brains. Yeah, brains does it. The brain of any animal is enough to tan its own hide. Okay? So when you get it done, you're gonna get it down there. It might have been about 10 years later, and you're gonna give it to your koala. And by that time, you're gonna forget what you asked him. And he has a free hide.
Smart you call.
So you learn a lot, and they give you something to do, and it takes away from what problem or issue that you have that you're going to forget, and it's become nothing anyway, because it always does. Right? Right. So Spirit says, don't worry about nothing, because when you start worrying about it, you're going to create it into being. You're going to give your worry energy. But so far, we've been pretty lucky, and so far our worries become nothing. And you always tell people, and you're worried about all that? What? You know, look at nothing to worry about. Just your own fear. So giving to each other, you feel them, you know them, and sometimes you do it naturally. You go to a store or someplace. Oh, I'm going to give this to Deb. You know. I got a gift to give for some help that she gave you or he gave you. You just automatically give it and say thank you. Could be anything. A hug, pat on the back, a word, a smile, advice, anything. For sure, and give, because that's just showing your love. Okay.